It's time for the man you came to see, the man of the hour. Put your hands together and keep that energy up for my friend Tommy Grossi, everybody.
Wow. There's going to be a lot of disappointed people in here. It's going to get awkward. Thank you so much for coming out. Really appreciate it. Even though half of you, I paid you to be here. It's fine. A lot of work friends, because they're like, oh, God, if one of us is going, we kind of all have to go. The other half's, related to me. It's do we have to, right? I appreciate it. Growing up in Westchester, right, and again, most of you know this because, again, we're related. We have a pretty big problem with deer jumping out in front of our cars, right? And I was talking to a buddy of mine who's in car insurance. He said, Tom, if a deer ever jumps out in front of your car, you have to hit it. And the reason being is if you swerve and hit a telephone pole or if you hit a guardrail, that's you causing an accident and the insurance won't pay for it. True. So about a month ago, I'm driving home and a deer jumps out in front of me. So I gun it. Because I don't have what some of you might call insurance. But here's the problem though. Here's the issue that I was dealing with is that, and this is where you're gonna hate me, I'm a vegan. And so if I hit this deer, I'm losing my vegan card, right? There's no way, I'm gonna stop getting the newsletters, right? It's good because there's dozens of us now. And it's just not gonna be good. And so at the last second, I have a change of heart, and I yank the wheel all the way over to the right, and I just, BAM! So I pull over to the side of the road. I'm visibly upset. Crying, thinking about the deer I just hit. Thinking about how I'm never going to eat kale again. So I get out of my car, and I walk to the front to survey the damage. And thankfully, it was just a bicyclist. Real sigh of relief, I have to say. And listen, to answer your question that I know that's on all of your minds right now, yes, the bike was fine. Because I loaded that right up into my trunk because he obviously didn't need it anymore, and it could obviously take a hefty shot from a Hyundai Sonata. So that's something that I want to own. I mean, American made, you just can't beat it. I was thinking about what joke to start off my comedy album with, and I wanted to start with a vehicular manslaughter joke. Just to kind of see what kind of audience I had. And you were all very on board with that joke from the beginning. So this is going to go just fine. Just fine. I said I was vegan by choice, obviously, because I just didn't want to experience happiness ever again. Just wanted to cut that right out, right? So I was I never want to feel that feeling again. It's fine. And so, for example, I don't get a choice in everything that I eat. So, for example, I was born with a dairy allergy, buttermilk cheese, always been allergic. I've never eaten real ice cream before. And essentially, it might as well have been being allergic to fun, because being allergic to dairy essentially ruined, so many events. Some of you were like, hey, that's the name of the album. I saw it on the poster, Allergic to Fun. I see what you did there. Nothing gets past you, yeah. So, for example, some things that it ruined, right, like movies. Growing up, wanted to watch a kid-friendly, family-friendly film. Tape in the VCR, right? Turns out to be the scariest horror movie of all time for me. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Like, I still have nightmares about falling into a chocolate river. That's my PTSD. It's horrible. Even ruined like summertime for me, right? You think about horror movies, you think like Friday the 13th, right? And when you hear the you know like Jason's about to kill those people, right? Like those people are about to die. And I had the same exact experience when I heard Mr. Softy coming down the block. Right? Like I'm checking to see if he's like behind trees and stuff. Like I'm looking for him, right? And all the little kids are like, oh my God, it's ice cream. I'm like, no! Running away, I'm suddenly in a bikini, you know. Yeah. And that's the thing, like kids growing up, like they should be afraid of like monsters in the closet, monsters under the bed, and here I am like afraid of the ice cream man in my driveway, right? Like there's a significant problem with that. Ruin things like Halloween, right? Halloween was terrible for me. Like at the end of the night, I'd have like 3 pounds of Reese's peanut butter cups, and I'm like trading it with my friend who accidentally grabbed a Dum Dum Pop, right? And I'm just like, this is not a fair trade in any way, shape, or form. This is outrageous. Right. Ruined Christmas for me. Right. My mom didn't want me to get into the Christmas presents under the tree, so she sprinkled Parmesan around the tree. Ain't getting into that! I see it, I'm like, oh, I can't pass. Even ruin like games for me, like playing with my friends, right? So for example, my friends and I, we used to love to play this game. Let me rephrase. My friends loved to play this game called Exorcism, okay? And what they would do is they would pretend that I was haunted by like a demon or a ghost, and they would have to exorcise the demon from me. And so they're like, all right, grab the holy water. And they would grab milk. And they're like throwing at me, and they're like, oh, his skin is burning, the ghost is coming out. And I'm like, no, it's just hives. It's fun games. It's good times. Like I couldn't even have like a proper like birthday cake, right? Like my birthday cake growing up was like a candle stuck in a dry bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like that. That's like, happy birthday, Mom, I'm 26. Like this is not getting any better. This is terrible. Though there is one good thing, though, about being allergic to dairy, right? And that's that my mom essentially had to pack my lunches, like, every single day. And my mom's Italian. So, like, I'm, like, going to elementary school. I got an antipasta. I got a little calamari. A little vino, right? It's fine. It's fine. It's Italian. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Some dessert, right? So, like, one of my favorite desserts was graham crackers, right? I know it sounds, like, really exciting. And... really excited. And so I actually, true story, when I was in high school, I actually got jumped for my graham crackers. I did. It's a true story. I got jumped by a senior. He was 90. And like really fast with that cane, like deceptively fast. No, but in reality, I got jumped by a senior in high school. Guy's name was Mike Leonard. He's not here today, so it's fine. At least I hope not. And he came up to me during lunchtime, and I was a freshman in high school, and he goes, hey, give me your graham crackers. And now, my dad has always taught me to, like, stand up to bullies, right? So I stood up, and I confidently said, no, Mike Leonard, these are my graham crackers. And on the way home, he confidently kicked my ass. And after he was done, he went into his car, and he grabbed a box of graham crackers, which quite honestly confused me because I don't know why he wanted mine if he obviously already had his own. Like he had already brought some. And he took his hand and he reached into the box and he crumbled them up and he shoved them in my mouth and he goes, how you like those crackers now, Tom? And I gotta be honest, like they weren't bad. They were pretty good. I mean, like it was a good solid brand. It wasn't knockoff, so like I didn't mind. I really didn't. But like even like when I wasn't vegan, like I knew like being allergic to dairy that like going out to eat is a miserable experience with me. Not just because of our conversation, but because like of the allergy, right? And so like for example, like a few years ago, my wife and I would go to a TGI Fridays, which was our first mistake. And we sit in, I'm sorry, I feel like you're a manager of TGI Fridays, and like you showed up and you're like, damn it, I can't escape anywhere. But we ordered food, I ordered a burger, and about 10 minutes later, a cheeseburger comes out. Not a problem, happens all the time. I politely and kindly ask the guy, if you don't mind, can you take it in the back? I'll get really, really sick. And he goes, can I just like, scrape the cheese off with a butter knife? And I go, no, because like again, I'll get really, really sick. It's not like a preference. If you could just take that back, that would be great. He goes, not a problem. End of conversation, right? Like totally respectful, totally nonchalant. My wife, she didn't handle the conversation the same way. So as he's walking back to the kitchen, excuse me! You listen to me. What's it, Carl? You listen to me, Carl. If that burger comes out with cheese, that I swear, this man here, he will freaking die on your floor. And then I'm gonna come back into that kitchen and I'm gonna shove it up your ass. You hear me, Carl? And you're like, oh my God, that's so sweet, right? Like that's so romantic, right? No. No. You see, the reason she made such a fuss is because she doesn't want Carl from TGI Fridays to kill me because she wants to do it herself, right? Well, let's be honest here. Let's be honest here, right? Right? There's no, wow, an applause break for that. Yeah, you're murder. Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. And at this point, you might be wondering, like, Tom, no. How do you know that your wife wants to kill you? Let me explain. First, a poll. How many of you, either in a relationship or marriage, have given some thought to murdering your significant other? I mean, this woman has thought about it 6 times since I started this joke. I mean, it's... Right? But here's the thing, though. See, like, I'm a good person. I don't think about killing my wife, right? It would be like a plane crash, something that I never had anything to do with, but that's a different story. So here, we get into an argument one night, right? She's cooking dinner. We get into a little bit of a tiff, so I want to break the tension in the room, right? We're all kidding. It's all fine. And so I do what I do, and I crack a joke, right? Ease the tension. We go, hey, babe. You know, don't pour milk there into dinner, right? You know, real knee slapper. And her response was, no, babe. That's not how I would kill you. Now again, it's a joke, right? It's fine. We're all having all good fun, having some jest, right? And so, of course, I keep going with it. And now, a tip for you, or any significant other, right? If your significant other ever says this to you, just end the conversation, right? Just leave the room, just take the L, right? I didn't end the conversation. So, keep going, because we're joking. I go, okay, babe. How would you kill me? Right? Because again, we're just having a good time. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. She goes, well... I would wait till you were asleep, and I'd empty out the humidifier and fill it with milk. And in the morning, all the evidence would be gone. Like, because I thought we were joking, I thought she was going to say something cute, like she was going to tickle me to death. But that was the last argument I ever had with my wife. Because I don't want to show up on an episode of Criminal Minds. Like, that's not the path I want to follow. It's good for you, 'cause, your wife just took down notes. I mean, you have fun with that. So I obviously have like a very happy, loving, stable marriage. If any of you were paying attention, I just blinked in Morse code. Help me. For any of you Morse code fans out there. No. But growing up, though, my parents got divorced at a very early age. And, not to make light of divorce, because divorce is a very serious thing. It could really mess a kid up, right? It could really have like a serious... I almost got through that with a straight face. It can have a very serious emotional and mental toll on a kid, right? And I got to be completely honest, their divorce was the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Like by far, it was the greatest thing in the world, right? Because it allowed me to get away with anything. Let me explain. I'm in math class. Math teacher's coming around. Tom, where's your homework? Well, you see, I was at my dad's house last night. My math textbook is at my mom's house, so I'm really sorry. I couldn't do the work. She's like, oh, honey. She's like, you know what? I'm going to mark down that you have it. You just show it to me whenever you can. I'm like, thank you. My parents live 5 minutes away from each other. 5. And that's if you walk. I mean, it's... But the problem with this, though, is while I just kept using this excuse after excuse after excuse, one day a counselor came into class. And she was like, Tom, I hear you're having some trouble at home. So we want you to join this counseling group, this support group, for students who have parents that are divorced, right? And now this group, they had to make it very warm, very welcoming, very inviting, so kids feel safe there, right? So they came up with a catchy name for it. There's a little play on words. Let me see if you can catch it. It was called Banana Split. Okay? Love, no. Right? Not anymore. No. Now, if you couldn't guess what they do at the end of the year, they have a banana split ice cream party. So, thankfully, I wasn't actually impacted by my parents' divorce in any way, shape, or form, because if I was, not only am I emotionally scarred from coming from a broken home, but at the end of the year, while all the kids are shoving their face with ice cream and forgetting their problems, I'm sitting in the back eating a piece of tree bark. So obviously, I'm going to tell this woman to take a hike, right? There's no way that I'm joining this crap. And I tell her that much. I go, no thanks, not for me. She goes, Tom, you get to miss math class 3 days a week. And I said, I am ready to talk about my problems. I'm so ready. I just feel like I'm willing to open up. And so, 3 days a week, sat in a big old circle, right? Went around. All the kids would be talking about their problems, how the divorce impacted their lives. Right? Billy is I feel like my parents got divorced because of me. And the counselor's like, no, of course not. And I knew Billy, and it was, right? This kid ate glue until 5th grade. There's no way that a parent looked at that kid and was like, I need to see him more than 3 days a week. There's no way. There's no way. It's totally his fault, right? And they kept getting to me, and I don't have anything to say, right? So I'm just pass. Until a few weeks go by, and they're like, Tom, you gotta say something, or we're gonna kick you out of the group. And at this point, I hadn't done my math homework for 3 months, so I was not ready to go back to class. And so I was like, I really gotta figure something out. This is gonna be bad. So what I did is I just said all the really great things about my parents being divorced. But I sounded really sad about it. Let me explain. I go, well, the hardest time of year is definitely Christmas. because I start out at my mom's house, and I open a lot of presents. Too many presents. Like it's that many presents. Like it's high. Like it's. And then I go to my dad's house, and I open up even more presents, and I just don't have the closet space anymore. Like it's just so. Right? Like birthday parties were the greatest, because I had 2 of them. Right? It was amazing. And so like my friends had to go out with their moms to buy me 2 birthday presents for the same birthday. Right? And listen, I will never forget my second 7th birthday party. Like it was phenomenal. Because the week prior for my first 7th birthday party, I had gotten a PlayStation. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then for my second 7th birthday party, I got a Nintendo 64. And it was like, oh my God. And now, like, my friends had seen me open both of these gifts. And, like, in the middle of the party, this kid just turns, he's like, Mom, when are you going to get a divorce? And I mean, like, that story has a happy ending, because, like, they did. But really messed him up, though. Like, divorce, guys, isn't funny. Like, it could really emotionally traumatize somebody. Really. So let's take a little another poll here. Right? So, were my parents in the room? I mean, not like my parents, like they're here, obviously. Just like, you know, like, okay, none of you have kids. All right, listen, like, I know, my parents didn't even raise their hands, right? They're just like, no, we didn't know, we don't know him, no. No, never seen this guy before. No, this doesn't say Grossi Posse. No, this is, found this on the street. Some homeless guy was wearing it, and I was just like, yeah, this was fine, right? Now, parents, I'm gonna approach this delicately. How many of you have had your children like make you something in art class, right? And bring it home to you? How do I put this gently? It's an utter piece of garbage, right? Like it is just horrendous. Yeah, it's horrendous. Thanks, Mom. It's horrendous, right? Now, as a good parent, though, what do you do with said artwork? It's beautiful, right? You keep it. You hang it on the fridge. You show all of the people coming to your house, right? Well, I'm proud to say that in 7th grade, it was a ceramics project, and Mother's Day was coming up. And so I thought, let me make my mom something. And now the project was to make a container, right, that you could put like loose change in, your keys, what have you, right? And so instead of making something like I knew that my mom liked, right, like I decided to make a troll. Now, I'm not talking about like one of those like 80s, 90s, like colorful hair, like you comb kind of troll. I'm talking like troll under the bridge, like you gotta pay a toll, wart on the nose, like eating goats kind of troll, right? And you pair that with no artistic ability whatsoever. And this thing comes out of the kiln, and it might as well have come out of the pits of hell, because this thing was horrendous, right? Spent 0 time and effort on this. And so Mother's Day comes around, and I present my troll to my mother. Right? My mom's a good parent. So what does she do? Thank you, honey. And she kept it until I was 25 years old. Now, you might be wondering, Tom, you don't look 25 years old anymore. What happened? Let me explain. I'm at my mom's house having brunch. 25-year-old man. Sitting down, having a great conversation. My mom goes, hey, Tom, you remember that troll you made in 7th grade? I go, Mom, of course. She goes, you want it? And I'm like, Mom, no, like obviously, like I spent a ton of time and effort on it. I didn't. And I gave it to you, right, like with all the love in my heart. She goes, good, because bulk trash is coming. So if on your way out, if you could just put that on the curb, that would be super. Now, I've only cried twice in my adult life. The first was at the end of Marley and Me. And the second was when my mom said she didn't want this troll anymore. Right. Now, if you're not familiar with bulk trash, let me explain. So, basically what it is you take all the stuff like you never want in your house, things like that are too big to put in the normal trash, right, or cherished childhood memories, and you put that on the curb, right, and in a week the garbage men, they come and they take all of the stuff, but within that week, people drive around in pickup trucks, they drive around in vans, right, and they load this stuff up, right, and I've seen like everything taken, right, like I've seen like pea-stained mattresses, guys are like, yeah, we could use that. Let's go load this up. Yeah, it's going to be great for the kids' room. Like, they're going to use that. And so here I am going, all right, Mom, you'll regret this. That's fine. This is going to go to a good family. Someone who actually appreciates my lack of hard work. And show her. So I put it out there, day one. All of a sudden, this van shows up. Oh, you're going to regret it, Mom. You're going to regret it. This family of 4 pops out. Mom, Dad, 2 kids. Perfect. I'm like waving at the window saying goodbye to an old friend. I'm like, good luck. Hopefully the next person that keeps you actually wants you. Yeah, right? So I'm not bitter at all. And one of the kids, little guy, he sees my troll. I'm like, oh man, that guy's got a good eye. He's got a good eye. Great kid. And he picks it up and he's looking at it. And I can tell he likes it. And then he starts crying. And then he starts screaming. And all of a sudden, like, the mom, like, runs over to, like, see what's wrong with her kid. And she started cursing in a language that I really wasn't, familiar with. And they got in the van and sped off, leaving the troll. That's fine. That's just not the right family. It's fine. So I'm like, we got another 6 days. Someone will take it. No. It rained. And, like, everything around the troll, it went. Right? Like my neighbor threw out a broken shovel, right? And it wasn't even the shovel part, it was just the stick part, and that got taken. Right? So someone took a broken stick, saw that troll and was like, nah, absolutely not, and took the broken stick, right? And so I'm starting to feel some type of way, right? I'm thinking my mom's gonna be like rowing a heart, she's gonna be like, oh man, I feel really bad about this, I'm gonna go out and get it. Nope, she just sat there and let it. She's like, good, you can rot out there, yep, that's fine. And so, the night before the garbage men are supposed to come and pick up my troll and take him away forever, I went in the middle of the night and I took the troll. And it's currently sitting in my house. Right? It is. It's currently sitting in my house. And some of you might be wondering, like, Todd, why? Like, why would you take this troll? Is it like to relive your childhood, right? Like a little nostalgia? No. Because I have a feeling that one day, my mom's gonna love that thing. I do. Because when she dies, I'm going to put her ashes in it. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Yeah. Like when I got out of school, I was hoping to get a teaching job and I couldn't get it, so I went to go work in this office, right? And I wanted to impress my boss. And so my wife and I, we have this weekly tradition called game night, because we're really cool people. And the game of the night was called Taboo. Right? You ever hear of the game Taboo? Yeah. It's a great game. It's good. It's a fun game. It's great. It's wonderful. And the way that you play it, right, is you're in teams of 2, and there's a word on the card, and your partner has to guess the word, and you can give them clues, but there's some clues that you can't give them, hence Taboo. And now, I'm an incredibly competitive person. My wife is an incredibly competitive person. And so I want to impress my boss, which means that I need to destroy them in Taboo, right? No mercy. And so, let me kind of set the stage for you. This was for the win, right? We're all tied up. I draw the card. It says flowers on it. We got this in the bag. Why? I messed up. Earlier that year for our anniversary, I didn't get my wife flowers. She never lived it down. She never let it go, ever. So I'm like, this is easy. So I turn to my wife, she's waiting for the clue, and I go, I didn't give you these on our anniversary, right? And I knew we were gonna win. Like I knew, like that she knew, I knew, everybody's happy. And so I got cocky and confident. I did. So like I turned to like my boss and gave him one of those like he knows he's about to lose, like good game kind of thing. Looked at his wife, gave her like a playful like wink, right? No. And during that time, like my wife still hadn't blurted out the answer, and I'm getting a little anxious because the hourglass is running down. We're running on time. Like we're gonna lose. And so I'm like, babe, what are you doing? Like, come on, say the answer. She's like, I don't want to embarrass you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, all right, you know what? She's really kind. She's really sweet, right? Like, she doesn't want to tell my boss that I messed up and forgot to give her flowers, right? I'm like, babe, it's really okay. Just say it. And she's like looking nervous. And I'm like, come on, the time's running out. Say it. And she's like, I really don't want to. And I'm like, babe, we're about to lose. Just say the freaking word. What didn't I give you on our anniversary? And she goes, orgasm. We didn't win. We did not get that point. No. And it was a few minutes later that I really started to regret winking at my boss's wife. Yeah, so I had to find a new job, like, relatively soon. So my boss never made eye contact with me ever again. So I essentially just nodded to him like, can't satisfy my wife. You know it, right? Yeah, no, I didn't feel like adult for quite some time. I just thought there was gonna be like this moment where someone was gonna sit me down, right? And like, Tom, like you're a man now, you're an adult, right? And like, or I was gonna wake up one day and I was like, I'm a man, right? And I was gonna get a deeper voice and everything, and it never happened. never happened. Still up there. Yeah, it's just never happened. And I actually didn't feel like an adult until I actually got my first teaching job. And it was the first day, and I am standing in front of 26 14-year-old girls. And I realize that I'm the most responsible person in that room. And how utterly screwed every single one of those kids are. Like, this is not going to end well, right? And so on my first day of teaching, this kid runs in. She's super excited to learn about social studies, right? She runs in. She's like, hey, Mr. Grossi. She trips, busts her face on the desk, and falls to the ground. Blood everywhere. Kids are screaming. Kids are crying. They're looking to me. And the first thought that ran through my mind, we should really call an adult, because that, like, ugh, blood, I am not equipped to handle that. And like, she went to the hospital, and so then at that point I was standing in front of 25 14-year-olds. So like, one down, 25 to go, things were going well for me. And I'm looking at the attendance sheet, and I see a familiar name. And I'm looking at it, and I look at this kid, I'm looking at the name, and her name's Sally. And I've heard about Sally before. Not a lot of effort, not very motivated, standoffish, right? All the things you don't want as a teacher. And I realized very quickly that Sally was not going to pass my midterm unless I worked with her. And so what I did as a teacher, I was like, let's do this. Every single week, I met with Sally. She was not happy about it at first, right? Standoffish, she had a bad attitude, right? Didn't want to be there, was bombing tests left and right. And then one day, she started doing better. Her attitude got better. Her dad even emailed me and was like, Mr. Grossi, like, I really have to thank you for what you're doing. I know it's a little personal, but my wife and I just got divorced. They were banana split. And, the fact that you're helping my daughter really means a lot to me. And I said, it's my pleasure. It's what I want to do. So the day the midterm rolls around, Sally takes it. shoot an email off to the dad, and I go, I want you to come in because I want to grade this thing in front of you. Right? So he comes down. Right? They're both happiness, bliss. Right? And before I'm about to grade the midterm, the dad stops me and says, you know, again, I want to thank you because Sally's grades have been doing so much better. My wife she's actually been talking about getting back together. No longer banana split. Just one banana. And it was at that point that I realized that Mike Leonard hadn't recognized me from high school freshman year. But that first day, I knew that that was his kid. And I said, Mike, it's my pleasure. And I failed the crap out of that kid. And as their face went from pure happiness to confusion, I took out a box of graham crackers and I put them on the desk and said, how do you like them crackers now, Mike? Yeah, so I got fired. That didn't, that's, you shouldn't do that as a teacher. That's the wrong thing to do. And so, after getting into almost a physical altercation with Mike Leonard, again, I decided that I wanted to, bulk up a little bit, right? Because, this is not intimidating in any way, shape, or form, right? I have the frame of Natalie Portman from Black Swan, right? This is not scaring anybody, right? So I decided to do this home workout program called Insanity. Okay, maybe some of you have heard of it before. Yeah, Nose Taboo and Insanity, so insightful. And so, if you're not familiar with it, it's run by this guy, Sean T. It's 8 videos, right, over the course of 2 months. And Sean T is this ripped guy, biceps the size of my head, whole nine. It takes place in a high school gymnasium. And it's a lot of cardio, a lot of running, a lot of jumping, right? And I'm feeling a little bit nervous about this. I am. And so, what I decided to do, and this might sound a little bit weird, but I decided to pick out a workout buddy from the guys in the videos. And so I'm looking at these people, right? 6-pack, right? Huge biceps, huge triceps, great calves. And then I got to Steve. Steve was at least 350 pounds. And now, first of all, I'm just wondering why Steve is even there, right? And I thought about it, and it's kind of like gazelles and lions, right? In that, the gazelles, they always hang out with a Steve gazelle. Because when the lions come, they just have to outrun Steve, right? That's all they have to worry about. So they kind of just, keep him around. And so, obviously, this guy's going to be my workout partner, obviously. And so I make this vow to Steve through my TV, and I go, all right, I'm not going to quit until Steve quits. Let's do this. 2 minutes into the workout, Steve's throwing up in the bleachers. 5 minutes later, he's eating donuts. I don't know where he got them from. I don't know where he even got, he smuggled them in. He was wearing gym shorts. I don't know where they came from. I really don't. So we finished the first month, right? Steve is 330 pounds now, right? It's not that much of a difference because really the bleachers and the donuts got to him. But me, I got a pack and a half now, right? So I'm feel a little confident, right? I'm ready to start this second month. Now, the second month is more intense. The workouts are longer. It's more extreme. I'm I got this. Me and Steve, we got this, right? And again, I make that vow to Steve. I'm not going to quit until you quit. Let's do it. Pop in the first DVD of the second month. Boom. 5 minutes in. Steve's already doing better. He ain't stopping. Wonderful. This is going to fall. So 5 minutes in. Doesn't stop. I ain't going to stop. 10 minutes in. Still going. Steve's still going. I'm still going. I ain't stopping. I can't let him down, right? 15 minutes later. All right, Steve, if we can hurry this up, that would be great. If we just take a break. Nope, he ain't stopping. This is going very well. 20 minutes later, I am hyperventilating, right? I'm about to die, and Steve is not stopping. I'm Steve, oh God, stop! 25 minutes later, Steve finally stops. I'm like, oh, thank God. Catch my breath, I'm ready to go again. And Steve drops on the floor. Now, the workout that we were doing is called log jumps, right? So the guy next to Steve is doing his log jumps, but he's just jumping over Steve, right? Because he can't stop. He can't. Sean T's gonna yell at him, he can't stop, right? They're loading Steve up on the stretcher, and he's, God damn it, Steve! Like he's just going higher and higher. So I finished the workout, right? I finished the first DVD, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Next week, second DVD, put it in. No Steve. Like, that's fine, taking a breather week, taking an off week, that's fine. Third week, still no Steve. That's fine, he's gonna come back at the very end, finish it off strong. Fourth and final week, no Steve. So now I'm getting a little worried about my buddy. Because the best part that I shared with Steve is that while we were sweating so much, you couldn't tell that we were crying. And that was a bond I didn't feel with any of the other members. And so I'm wondering what happened to my friend. And at the end of the DVD, a message pops up saying, in loving memory of Steve. And so I tell the story of Steve because for anybody out there that wants to change their life, right? That wants to get physically, emotionally, mentally better, don't. It's not worth it. Steve was very happy eating donuts in the bleachers, and look what happened to him. So instead of that gym membership for $9.99, you put that right towards Netflix, because that is a good investment for your health. True. It's true. Speaking of death. You guys ever go to a nursing home to look for a new grandma? No, like mine's fine, but like she stopped sending $5 in my birthday card, so like, you know, it's like time to upgrade a little bit, right? And so like me and the wife are perusing, you know, we're surfing the aisles, and that's when she turns to me and she goes, you know, I kind of know how like I want to die with you. And I know where this was going, right? Like this was like red flags going off. I'm like, honey, I love you. You're beautiful. You look great in that outfit, right? Like I'm covering all my bases, right? No milk, no humidifier, looking around. We're good. And she goes, no. She goes, I want to go out like the end of The Notebook. Now, if you've ever seen The Notebook, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'm about to spoil a 10-year-old movie for you, and it's kind of your fault for not seeing it. Sorry. So at the end of The Notebook, these people are like super old, and they're laying in a nursing home. Love it. It's basically like the defining sound of this special. And they're in the nursing home, they're in bed together, holding hands, and they drift off into death, quietly and gently, and it's beautiful. And I got to thinking about it, that if I ever find myself in a nursing home with my wife, I definitely want her to die first. And I know that sounds really bad, right? You're probably looking at me like, Tom, you monster. How could you ever say that about your wife? You're so selfish. Yes, but let me explain. The reason I want her to go first is because just for a couple months, I want to pretend that I'm haunted by her ghost just to mess with the nurses who work there. Just for a couple months. Like, let me explain. Sitting in my bed, right? Nurse comes in to like change my catheter, or whatever old people have, right? She's like, Mr. Grossi, how are you doing today? And I'm like, you know, me and the wife gonna go down and hang out with the birds. And she's like, Mr. Grossi, your wife passed. She's no longer with you. And I go, oh, then why is she right behind you? Right, just the look on her face is gonna be priceless. It's gonna be amazing. And then all of a sudden, like, people like in the nursing home hear that I can talk to dead people, right? So they start lining up outside my door, right? And they're like giving me like their applesauce and their used bingo cards. So like I can talk to dead Phil or whoever they want to communicate with. And so all of a sudden, what's this? I got a booming business. Yes, I do. I'm stimulating the American economy. You're welcome, right? And so I need to open up a location. Yeah, you're welcome, people. And I'm the selfish one, okay? So things are getting a little crazy. Business is going really, really well, right? So I had to hire an assistant. His name's Brad. Let me tell you about him. So Brad's a good guy, right? He's trying to put his kid through school, right? And school is really expensive because this is the future, remember? So like college tuition is at least $90,000 a semester, right? Like just with inflation. So what I do on Christmas Eve is I write a check to Brad that fully pays for his daughter to go to college. Wow. I'm amazing, right? I'm incredible. Brad breaks down in tears. He thanks me so much. He goes, Tom, you gotta come over. My wife will cook dinner for us, and it will be amazing. I said, Brad, I would love to. I'd be delighted to come to your house. So Christmas Day, I'm spending it with Brad's family. It's beautiful, right? His wife has spent 6 hours in the kitchen cooking. She goes, and I made sure there's no milk, there's no cheese, right? Right? Great woman. We all sit down, right? That's when Brad confesses that he's always seen me like a father figure. I'm like, I know, right? Because again, I'm incredible. We eat this delicious food, and after we're done, I'm like, oh, I'm so stuffed, right? Can't be any more. Brad's wife comes out with this beautiful cake. And I'm like, oh. Right? And then I'm thinking back on my life, and I'm thinking, like maybe I'm not allergic to fun, right? Like this is something beautiful. This is something wonderful. Got a tear in my eye, and I take a bite of the cake, and I drop dead. Why? I mean, she put butter in it. So, I mean, you have been a phenomenal audience. Thank you so much for coming out, everybody. I'm Tom Grossi. Have a fantastic evening. I love you all. Good night. Thank you. Another show. Leave. Like, you gotta go now. You gotta go. Thank you.